Oh, hi. This is Dan here. I'm going to take off my mask while I talk about our first project that we're going to do in Minnesota Trades Academy this year. We're going to make a cribbage board that what you're going to get is you're going to get a blank that looks like this. Due to restrictions in time, we have it cut to 4 inches wide, but one of the first things we're going to do is we are going to cut this to 12 inches long. So we will introduce this project. Cribbage board is a nice thing. You may have never played cribbage. We'll put some videos on how to play cribbage. It'd be a nice gift to give to somebody. It's just a project that it's a good thing to introduce the tools with. So why don't we go over there by the saw. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut this to 12 inches long. And this piece is going to be cut on this thing. It's called a chop saw. It's called a miter cutoff saw. It's just called a lot of names, but it's basically a saw that comes down. And when you come down, it will cut the board. When we have the board's going to be tight against this fence, so it keeps a 90-degree angle. So let's talk about some of the safety things we have to worry about this. Obviously, you can see this has some teeth here. I have a rule in my classes that students' fingers must be at least 4 inches away. So 4 inches, I usually have a mark, it's worn out here, but it's over here, but this one's worn out from the school year, but 4 inches is right here. So your fingers are never closer than 4 inches to the blade. This is probably one of the pieces of equipment that people feel safe, but you should feel safe on it if you follow the directions. So, when we start it, all you do is squeeze the trigger up here. And I'm gonna rev it up so you can see my hand on here. Most miter saws are this way, so you turn it on. You'll notice there's a little torque going up. That's because the blades are causing it to go. Now, one of the things you want to do when you use this is turn it on, let it run for about 2 seconds, and then cut your wood. Now, kids tend to want to, or young adults, or a lot of people just tend to want to go fast. You want to go slow when you cut, take your time, and be accurate. So, that's the miter saw. It's a safe piece of equipment, it's convenient, but again, 4 inches away. Let it rev up, because if you don't let it rev up, what happens is it can warp the blade, and that can be a dangerous thing. It can even cause the blade to crack. So let's talk about doing this. If you look at it, one end is better than the other. So what we're going to do to cut this to 12 inches, I'm going to take the very best end, which is this one. I'm going to line it up, I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to take off as little as possible. So I hold the blade down, I see, yep, it's right there. I'm taking off about 1/8 of an inch. I press it tight against this fence, and my fingers are 4 inches away. I rev it up. Stop it. Bring it up. Remove any little scraps. There'll be a garbage can by each place. Now you can see I have a nice straight edge. It's going to be at 90 degrees where I held it to the fence. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 more tools to make sure things are accurate. The tape measure, it's a 25-foot tape measure. I'm just going to use the end, and I'm going to come out 12 inches. I'm going to take and put a mark right at 12 inches. 12 inches. I take this off. Now I take this tool, which is called a speed square. I put it tight against the edge, and I line up the mark, and I draw it right where I made my mark, right there, right through it. I come up over here, put my pencil down, make sure all the tools are clear. You'll probably be marking at a different location, but I have it here for now. I bring this down, Now, you might not be able to see the black line on that side, but what I want to do is the black line or the pencil mark is at 12 inches, so I want to cut right above the 12-inch mark. So when I come down here, I line it up, and if I cut 4 inches away my fingers, I rev it up for 2 seconds. Lift it up, and we have our board squared to 12 inches.